Good fucking morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Proof of Person. Happy fucking Friday. Today we have Los with us, for founder of All Things Web3, as our main guest for episode 44. Los, honored to have you here, my man. How are you doing? How's everything?
Pleasure to be here. Good. How are you?
Man, having a great time. Early Friday here, 8 a.m. I know you're on the completely different opposite time zone, but
Thank
yeah.
God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, it's gonna be a great weekend. What did you do today? How was your day? It's the middle of the night, right? For you, is maybe you're probably sleeping after this.
Oh, today I just had an anniversary with the missus, and
Nice.
I made the mistake of eating a bit too much before I started this. But I should be good. It's been a few hours,
Yeah.
so let's see how we roll.
Sorry, if you suddenly stop speaking, we know what it was. You didn't get murdered all of a sudden, so it should be.
And for context, I'm not fat or anything.
Good context, good reference. Must highlight. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a great show. We'll have a great conversation. So much to learn from your experience, from your journey. I mean, we've been very close for the last 4 years, which feels like 20. But a lot of people don't know your story or the insights or how you got to who you are today, and that's what I think is very valuable to inspiring people as well in general.
Yeah,
so
something different.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, before we get into everything, all things Web3 and like your experience and like a bit of the past, like the last couple of years and what's next. Like, do you mind doing a quick TLDR of who you are and what was the catalyst for you joining Web3 back a few years ago? I think 2017.
Yeah, so back in 2017, I was lurking crypto. I was very interested in the whole ecosystem. But for the most part, it's been just like trading, just like everyone else does start in the crypto space. But come around 2021, 2022, that's essentially where the whole Web3 journey kicked in, really diving into the ecosystem from a technical aspect, which I wish I got into even earlier, just as anyone would.
Yeah, have you always been into technical everything? Like when I first met you, you were a dev, and you still are, obviously. But in 2017, you started trading. Were you always with that technical mindset? I mean, I know you've done technical analysis as well on your Twitter, and in general, you have that perspective. But did you see the opportunity there, or you were always like that?
Yeah, so from a young age, I've actually been into programming, and it pretty much started with RuneScape private servers. For those who know, that was decades now at this point, and it sucks to say because I feel really old saying that. But yeah, it literally turned into a career there. Managed to complete my bachelor in computer science as well. So pretty much I was a software developer full time before committing the full-time journey into Web3 in 2022.
Nice. Did you discover it by yourself after, like, did you naturally discover it after trading for like 4 or 5 years in 2022, or did someone invite you? What was the main differentiator when you joined into Web3 and NFTs?
So one of the jobs that I entered into was actually in the crypto fintech space here in Melbourne, Australia. And about 8 months in, I actually had a few people reach out to me asking for help on their own projects, particularly in the NFT space. And from there, just using the knowledge that I know, particularly in the web development space, it essentially helped a lot of people build out a lot of their NFT projects that they wanted early on back then. And word of mouth pretty much grew out from that point onwards. And nothing's changed kind of ever since, other than obviously the market being, it's not NFTs are not like the main thing anymore, but rather it always changes every cycle, you could say.
Yeah, no, man. I mean, it's giving a breath of fresh air to have a few NFTs cooking lately. It feels almost nostalgic, but we all love
Absolutely.
to see it. We all love to see that the rare trades getting sniped or sold for 10x, 20x the floor price. You know, all these
It's
takes
crazy.
us back, man. I wish we could go back for a minute to what it was. It was too easy
feels
to
like
trade into it,
ages.
really. Yeah, it feels like ages.
100%.
But yeah, like I knew, like for anyone in the audience that didn't know about I think a lot of your clients or the people that you work with is word of mouth. How did that start though? Like it's obviously a ripple effect after you work with someone and then they recommend someone, they refer someone to you. But like, where did that base started from? Like, was it from a colleague, from work before Web3, from people that you studied with in computer science and in university? Like, how did it start the snowball afterwards?
Yeah, so I had a friend from university that was more into the gaming space as well, and he ended up referring me to a few people that needed technical help because he was a game developer largely, and I was more the web guy, if you will, at the time.
Yep.
And a lot of demand was in the web side of things, so developing like marketplaces, staking, and the likes. So back then, there weren't as many devs as there are today to do that kind of stuff. So it was lucrative back then.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it is now, but that's how it was. Essentially, not many people were doing a lot of development when it comes to Ethereum in particular, because that's where all the momentum was. Ethereum NFTs and building it on top of existing ecosystems. And really, it just spiraled from there, making friends with the founders who happen to also be influencers, and also them utilizing and sharing people in their own networks, and having their people reach out has pretty much grown that word of mouth funnel, you could say, quite substantially since.
Yeah, nice. I mean, and I know you've always done like top work. So, and you've delivered or over deliver on all of your projects and all of your partnerships. So the word of mouth is easier for people to do because you give the results or even more than they expected. So easier to build a ripple effect. Yeah,
it's mostly the trust factor as well, because in crypto, it's often that is the biggest friction, I would say, when it comes to working with one another. Is this person going to scam me? Who is this person, etc. But when you have a friend introduce you who happens to also be successful, that eliminates that friction, and it does help quite a bit when you are connecting with other talent or founders, you could say, in this space.
Yeah, no, completely agree. Especially with so many scams back in the day, and I mean, still, like there's so many, and we're gonna touch a bit more on that in a couple of more questions afterwards. But yeah, that trust is so important. From a dev to, I mean, all things Web3. You've had it a couple of years, if I'm not mistaken, but it's more of like a founder role. Do you have a team? I know you liked working by yourself, you like trading by yourself, and in general just being more of a lone wolf, but do you have a team right now, or did you feel like at that transition from dev to a founder of a
so there's a lot of things in the background that a lot of people don't see. I do tend to work with people that are better than me at some things, so that can be web design people as well. And this is usually when in the early days, you take on a lot of work yourself, usually to cut back on a bit of costs and stuff like that. But when it comes to handling a lot of projects, or when it's, for example, a bull market and demand is going through the roof, then you do need the help. So I did have some local talent over here in Australia help out with a lot of the design aspect, and whenever necessary, I'd also reach out to a few other guys that were more the junior mid-level roles to help out with things. But nowadays, given that there are a lot of AI headwinds and for likes. Not to say it replaces anyone, but it certainly makes it much quicker and efficient to use AI to do a lot of the small work that I once used to have help with.
Yeah, with the day to day and the workflow. It was more of a combination of capacity and scalability. Like you were getting a lot of referrals, I assume, and then you couldn't. I mean, you could sleep 1 hour per day, but not long enough. Like you needed actual help, right, to fulfill the requirements. Right?
1,000%. So that is probably like a good example would be when you have like 2 or 3 projects scheduled to go live on the same day, and and given a short time frame, right? So when you're in a crunch like that, you kind of need the help. Otherwise, you will go pretty insane. At least I did. So what I would do is I would just pay out of pocket some guys that I would knew to alleviate a lot of the workload. That way things get a bit easier and it's less chaos on those particular days. But that's during, I would say, like bull market phases, I would say, for the most part.
Yeah, no, and now with AI, like a lot of things can be automated, and whether we like it or not, like people are starting to get replaced in some tasks. And yeah, we'll get to the whole topic of AI in a minute. But yeah, like from like building 100+ projects, delivered 77 million plus value. Like what do you think? Like from working from so many founders, I think you say a lot of no's when they didn't meet the requirements, or did you feel like you tried to convince them into a better package that you think they needed? Because I know a lot of founders wanted to cut corners in general and trying to save money. Were you trying to convince them in general, or just like saying no, good luck, and then them coming to fix for you to help them fix the problem after lunch? Like what was the main driver in that way?
So largely a lot of the no's come from small but ambitious people that literally don't want to, that don't understand the reality of actually launching a project and what it entails.
Right.
Like some can straight up assume that you need just $500 and, you know, like some cheap dev from Fiverr or whatever country you want to name, say India, and that's it. Like it, and you'll become a millionaire. But that's a completely different reality to what most projects have to go through at the beginning stages, especially when it comes to. There's so many like obstacles that you first face, like distribution, getting the technical aspects sorted, your marketing, also having money management in place as well, and allocating where you need to invest most efficiently as well when it comes to building out the project and getting it out to people.
Yeah, and a lot of these experience and skills that many maybe young entrepreneurs or wannabe founders didn't have, right? Like I just think they lived in a very delusional reality of if they can do it, I can too in 2022. And everyone was very extremely ambitious and delusional, especially with the amount of money that was moving in the market. It was very easy to think that they could achieve it as well. But yeah, gladly they bumped into you and you gave them a few slaps in the wrist.
but to be honest with you, it is possible, right?
Yeah.
But usually you see those cases where people don't invest too much when they are typically really early into a wave. For example, NFTs, right? If you were among the first 50 NFTs, you didn't have to put much money into the project to do well. All you needed was a great artist, just a basic contract, and people would just mint it out on chain and the market would do the heavy lifting for you. And same thing goes with meme coins and the likes. Right when Pepe come out, that just spun out of control, and It just goes to show, if you're early in, then I guess you have more exposure from the public naturally, because there's not much competition. But as time goes on, it gets much more competitive. For example, starting an NFT today is arguably 100 times harder than it
Yeah.
was in 2022, as it was meme coins last year and the year before. So yeah, it's possible if you're catching a new wave to do well with very little. But now, if you're sticking to like specific industries that have already, or specific waves that have already passed, then I would say it's way harder than it was.
Yeah, no, I agree. That first mover advantage, is very important. Even though some might call you crazy on trying something so new, or if you're early to a new wave. But yeah, right. Lately, it's so much more competitive. And what do you think on founders as well, building in public versus not needing to be that present in general? Like, I don't like you're not that active on Twitter in general, but you're cooking and you're like most of the funnel of clients that you have are referrals or word of mouth. I think, well, I know that most of the or like the best traders don't need to be in that echo chamber of Twitter. Do you think founders still need to build in public, or they can be behind the scenes completely, besides Luca and Adam and a couple of other exceptions?
I do think that building in public does do wonders for people, because as much as I am behind the scenes of a lot of projects that I partner with, there is always a person that I'm working with who is taking
The
up the
face.
role of taking up the face of the project. So you need to have that in a project, in my opinion, for anything in Web3. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a public face, but an alias or some influence, if you will, in the market. But the way things are going, I think that in the future we'll just see more human touch, if that makes sense, like more human faces, to put it simple.
Yeah, it's becoming a big differentiator, and I wanted to hear your take as well on this, and we can start jumping into the whole AI topic. I don't know if you've seen. I saw the other day an ad by Lego, the one that I don't know. I don't think you're watching the football, but it had like Cristiano, Messi, I think Mbappe, and like it was a Lego ad with like 3 or 4 of the main football superstars, and they had to disclose, or like not had to, but like they did a hashtag not AI. Like it's becoming to that level to like this is not artificial, like this is real, this is organic. And like I saw another ad from or another video from Apple that they show the behind the scenes and the process of creating that video is becoming more and more needed in a way to prove that it's not built by a robot, but by an LLM or something similar. What do you think of that in general?
I think the way things are going, we won't be able to kind of discern what is AI and what is not. So I think it's a great attempt, I suppose, to preserve their integrity and the likes of whatever corporate, entities like to do. But the way I think going into the future, like it won't matter as much. People will just be used to, AI generated content in general.
Yeah, even with Twitter, like we have the label now made with AI. Even if you don't toggle it, a lot of the times lately, it just toggles it by itself. Like it knows that it's AI, so it will enforce it for you.
Yeah.
I hope we can find like AI can tell when others AI are making stuff instead of us human, because as you said, like I don't think we're gonna be able to tell the difference unless they help us in that way. But yeah, in terms of replacing people, and this tweet that you said, anyone arguing with that AI will not be such a big deal. Businesses are here to making money. Obviously, replacing employees because it's an expense. AI and robots in general don't need holidays or don't need breaks and can just be completely efficient. What was your mindset behind this tweet besides what you wrote and in general on AI replacing?
Yes. So I was doing bookkeeping once, and I was thinking to myself, like, wow, I mean, we're still early in AI. Um, keep in mind, obviously, but while I was doing the bookkeeping, like, keep in mind, I never did it before. I have a guy that does my books
Hmm.
at the time, and it was just astonishing because, like, as soon as I saw the amount of errors he was doing, and I went to Claude and I told him, okay, I went to Claude and I literally just described the transactions and told it to just tell me how to categorize and what accounts I need to allocate these transactions to. And I
Yep.
literally did it so well that I just made a little tool to do it all for me.
Yep.
So that's just that one action alone pretty much saved a couple hundred bucks a month just in bookkeeping fees as well. And the rest, I mean, it does a lot of the heavy lifting for my actual accountant as well at the end of the day. But eliminating the errors and stuff like that, it's a great deal in the end. And I just think to myself, like, why wouldn't you as a small business want to lower those small kind of recurring expenses and use that money to really invest into things that actually matter, like maybe bringing on, maybe increasing your ad spend or paying for a sponsor like this show as an example, right? So that that's my whole thought on it. And the way things are going with AI getting smarter and the likes, I don't see how it won't interrupt a lot of jobs in the future.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also the like when you're training the AI into something new, it's like a new employee, but faster and more understanding and more efficient. It takes time at the beginning, but then it just flows and it recommends you better ways to do it, and it's always efficient, no mistakes, all of this. So pros and cons, like AI has just become like over like winning every time versus low entry employees. And then there's this other take that is also in contrast of IRL is the alpha, the IRL events and the human factor. For some things, it still is, but I don't know for how much longer. I do feel like humans are becoming the bottleneck in a lot of the processes that could be
Yeah,
automated. So very interesting
a
time,
lot,
man.
a
Yeah.
lot, a lot of a lot of jobs are kept up by bureaucracy as well in the world, and rules and red tape and stuff like that. And that's the unfortunate reality of this quasi economy that we have in the world. All these rules create all these fake jobs, and the moment you remove the fake rules anyway, and the jobs become kind of rendered useless anyways because of a lot of the jobs can be done by AI. But
Yeah.
that's a personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also, like, what do you think, like, connecting AI and with Web3, what do you think is the biggest synergy at the moment? Like, I can clearly say that these are you writing your tweets, like, these are not automated or AI made. But a lot of people that are tweeting like 10 times a day, especially with InfoFi back a few months ago, like, majority of those were AI, right? So, what do you think is the biggest synergy that is helping the industry? And if you want, also on the contrary, that is affecting the industry?
Um, I mean, we're seeing like I can't comment too much on it, to be honest. We're seeing like the smart wallets come out as an example. Like, it's still early days in my opinion, and AI being able to have their own wallets and interact with other AIs. So we're definitely in the early stages of that, of catching a wave potentially there.
Yep.
I mean, it's not how it was a couple of years ago where people would make AI NFTs and stuff like that, which were complete rugs in
It's just
hindsight.
horrible. They
Yeah,
were
and same with
terrible.
coins, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, that kind of AI Web3, I mean, clearly isn't doing too well. Other than that, I mean, it's hard to say, to be honest. I mean, Bitcoin kind of is the preferred crypto for AIs, is what I see in my feed. But I have tried my best to also filter out my timeline with a lot of the social fi shit as well, because admittedly, it is spam to me. It doesn't add any value to what I'm interested or trying to do. But it's good for projects, right? I mean, more engagement, more eyeballs on the project, more views, potentially more sales, more volume. That's the name of the game.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen too much out of it, or I'm probably not covering that part of the sphere in Web3 when it comes to AI. But nothing too innovative has come up on my mind yet.
What do you think about AI agents trading for you? I mean, we've seen it a lot more lately promoted, as in you don't need to trade. AI and robots don't have the emotions that you do, so just set the parameters and they will trade for you. Have you tried any? And if so, would you recommend them?
Well, if you can back test a strategy, a trading strategy, and have AIs do it for you, and hopefully not get caught out on a bug or something that ends up draining your wallet, or some bug that ends up buying or doing 100 times leverage or something insane, then I think that's a perfectly viable kind of thing. Personally speaking, I don't use AI to trade. I like to have control of the money that I do trade, because if I do, it's usually substantial amounts.
Yep.
In my eyes, at least. But AI agents to trade, I mean, I definitely think that is a thing. I mean, it's always been a thing, algo trading, but I guess it's more tailored to the retail investor now.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been actively searching for people using AI agents, but I will really want to know how many of them are being profitable, and if they have built a proper system. I'm guessing it's 1%, and majority are maybe losing money, like prediction markets. But that's a.
But even if you had a profitable trading system, why would you want to give it out? Why not, try and make as much out of it? Yeah, exactly. And what most people do is maybe sell a course on how to build it or whatever. But no, I'm yet to see an actual trader actually give up their strategy that works
to everyone. Open source it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's why they're the best traders, and they don't. Yeah, just they gatekeep it. What's your best BT strategy? I mean, these are just like the surface, the tip of the iceberg of a little bit of your thoughts, like the tweets that you share like once a month, and here's some of your you're looking at a chart and some technical analysis. But what's your best BTC strategy? I assume DCA in. I know you were in stables and sidelines a few months ago and waiting to deploy capital again. What has worked the best so far?
What I've learned in Web3 is there's literally no benefit to being a public bear unless you want to just be whiplashed for it.
Just hitting on everyone.
Yeah. So largely I have been on the sidelines. I always keep some BTC on the side, but when I do have a belief that things are a bit too heated, when you see friends buying exuberant things and stuff like that while Bitcoin's pretty high, it kind of gives me flashbacks to prior cycles that I've been in. And it just makes me think, I think we could be going into a short downturn, but I didn't expect it to be this aggressive for the most part. But my strategy is pretty simple when it comes to trading in general. I try and avoid, day trading. If anything, position trading is probably my best description. Simply just dollar cost averaging as much as possible into now I'm mumbling, but to add context, I'm a big believer of like the 4-year cycle, right? It still hasn't been disproven. So it's been historically proven over time that usually dollar cost averaging before the Bitcoin halving has almost turned out to be one of the best things you can do during a bear market. And I'm not saying even to buy altcoins. I have been one of those people that have bought altcoins during the bear, only to lose even more Bitcoin as Bitcoin's recovery begun. So the strategy for me is just accumulating Bitcoin and then afterwards looking into other altcoins as Bitcoin makes its full recovery back, because without the king doing well, it's pretty hard for anything else to do better.
Yeah, no, and like back in a few years back, like the people that were committed and properly invested, regardless of well, if you have more of your portfolio in that altcoin, obviously you're more invested and committed. They were diehard fans, like they were diehard holders. Like I'm running with this till I die, and then pump fund and meme coins happened, and the whole perspective and narrative shifted in a way. No, like now people are like, we need more dopamine hits, and they could be a 100x runner that day. Well, not anymore, or not as much as in 2024, but it completely changed the game when altcoins were, I don't know, 100% in a year. It could be, 1,000x in a day with meme coins, right? Completely disrupted the industry.
Yeah. But some things have never changed since the prior cycles. Like marrying your bags is never a good thing, in my opinion. Yeah. And the doubling down on losers, stuff like that. People that are new to the cycle learn this more often than not later on. It's funny because like back in 2017, it almost was an insult to be called a community member of a particular token. Now it's kind of a normal thing. So things do change over time. But needless to say, it's not a bad thing, obviously, to be a community member. But if you know, like your founder is doing nothing, doesn't care, is constantly pivoting to rubbish or distracted by the new shiny thing, like why would you keep on dollar cost averaging onto it? I would just cut the loss and move it into Bitcoin, or just take a break completely from trading and reassess.
It's one of the most painful things to do in life, and you need to live it to understand it. Like when you have a conviction play and like this is gonna work out and it just doesn't, and you keep DCA and it's fucking painful, man.
I admittedly was one of those Ethereum maxis at one point, but Solana was pretty much the nail to the coffin to my thesis that Ethereum was potentially the soundest money that exists, until Solana pretty much broke that thought of mine by saying, like, the market essentially screamed that Solana is the best for the kind of degenerate things that people do, like trade meme coins, NFTs, and stuff like that. So, and seeing the price action just do so poorly compared to Bitcoin as well has been just a big eye opener in general.
Are you getting flashbacks, or this time is different with hype? I saw a tweet you did February 25, I believe, that you were like, it's still got a good time to go all in on hype or something like that, and like all-time high yesterday. So how are you feeling?
Hype has been a really has been an outperformer without any surprise. For those that have been there when Binance started, the biggest issue in the crypto space has always been with exchanges in general. Because there's just so many attack vectors to an exchange as well. There's KYC, stuff like that. Hyperliquid was a pretty obvious trade, and those do show up. And that's why I emphasize not marrying bags, because you're trapping liquidity for opportunities like hype that are so obvious, that can literally multiply your portfolio and realize more gains than you would have holding some piece of shit coin from, years back.
Yeah.
So in terms of hype right now, I think it's hard to say. I mean, it does have a lot of limelight and stuff like that. I do see it doing. I do see it capturing a lot of Binance's market share, just because of the privacy aspect, the no KYC, all these things. But those could also be headwinds to Hyperliquid in the future. So the safest thing to do would be to probably just buy Bitcoin if you missed that by anyway. But hype, buying it right now, I mean, if you look at the fully diluted valuation, it's a bit high.
Yeah, I love the thought of like, yeah, it was. I mean, and for you, it might be real. Like you actually invested, but like there's a lot of people like it was such an obvious play, and majority obviously it is after it plays out, but like it's risky as hell, or yeah, just riskier when it's when not everyone is jumping on that train, right? So, but hype, I think everyone was or majority were very bullish from the beginning, even after the retrace to like 20 or 30 a few months ago. And look at it now, like just outperforming the market, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned about staying up to date with news a bit earlier. I'm very curious what you do. You don't have to share all the alpha, but like, do you normally follow X, a few Twitter accounts that give you the best information for you to take action, or for to stay up to date with the latest on Web3 or any specific industry that you're following? Do you have a group of traders, a group of friends that you stay up to date with each other? Like, what would you suggest for people that want to have information and not really have that decision making knowledge, daily, weekly, monthly basis?
Definitely having a lot of friends as well helps quite a bit. I mean, because every friend's doing something different in the space. But when it comes to news, I would say X can be a very resourceful platform if used correctly. If
Yeah.
you're doom scrolling, and I don't blame anyone that does, because the algorithm has changed over the years. It literally slams you with a lot of nonsense on your feed. But what I did personally is just followed people that actually matter or have kind of authority to them. And a lot of the gold is in the low follower count accounts, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So traders that are trading millions of dollars with a couple thousand followers, stuff like that, digging for those accounts can often help you identify trends in the market. So Hyperliquid was how I figured that out. I noticed this platform. It was a DEX for P.O.Ps, and some guy was like chanting on about it, how they also made so much from an airdrop, etc. And I wish I knew about it earlier, but like anyone else, right? It was just, yeah, I've been there seeing it go all the way down to $10 and all the way now to 60. So, I mean, to say there wasn't an opportunity to capitalize on it would have been a lie.
Yeah, no, I agree. Spoilers said in the comments, hype is a meme coin at this point. Yeah, shout out to Spoiler, Scorpion, Sniper, Ayomi, everyone on the comments. Appreciate you having us here with us. If you have any questions, let us know. But yeah, man. Yeah, following the right people gives you a big edge. There's so much noise and so much bullshit on X. And as you said, like the algo is changing so much. It was way more noisy with InfoFi. I'm so glad that's over. I've never went into it. Like I was not farming it. I know a lot of people that got really good rewards from it. So kudos. But it was just so much noise and so much AI content that nobody cared about, and projects that nobody was using, and just bullshit in general.
Yeah, I can speak from the builder's point of view because I have made a few SocialFi engagement farming / product, if you want to call it, for a few projects that I've partnered with people on. And to be quite honest with you, it's a little bit, it can work out, but most of the time the project is using the audience to boost their presence on the platform. That's undeniable. And 9 times out of 10, the project founders are not intending to give you a lot of money. But if it makes sense, they will. But 9 times out of 10, most people won't walk out with much from engagement farming, I would say.
Yeah, it's mainly volume. It's obviously, I mean, the project get the attention. They are more on the timeline, but the number of actual people promoting it with motion are a handful or 10, 20 max. And hence the leaderboards with Whale doing one tweet can outnumber and outpoint everyone on the leaderboard because he has the numbers and he has the attention and the traction, right? So very unequal game in a way, but at the end that's what the projects wanted. So it fit the purpose in a way until Lex said,
Yeah,
like,
but
no mas.
they are outliers as well, and they usually
Yeah.
work on a system where a follower of theirs that is referred by Whale, for example, benefits even more. There's like multipliers, right? Because if someone signs up on Whale's referral link or something, then he gets, bonus points because of that. And the numbers look exorbitant most of the time as a marketing aspect too. So those big numbers as well, they can help advertise for a project too. If someone's making $1 million out of an airdrop, then I would say it's pretty good marketing too.
Yeah, and it has to be. It has to make sense. The math needs to match, right? Like I saw Space. I don't know if you know about that project that it was trying to take market share from OpenSea, focused on NFTs, and they promised 1 million in rewards, $1 million in rewards a few months back, and they just sunsetted yesterday or 2 days ago. They were like, "This is a very difficult moment, and like we TLDR, we cannot push through the rewards." And so many people were pissed and on the timeline because they were farming like crazy and the leaderboards and a bunch of competitions and all the volume that they did on buying and trading NFTs, like to then the founders just saying like, yeah, we can't. Like,
yeah, and $1 million sounds like a lot, but it really isn't for a platform trying to compete with OpenSea. There's so many people now that game the systems when it comes to SocialFi that I think it's lost its level of lucrativeness.
Yeah.
In compared to like say when it launched a few years back.
Yeah, no, and I'm sure they did the math and like with fees. I mean, they were gonna get that $1 million and they were gonna keep the rest for profit, but then the numbers didn't match up, and then they didn't have the much volume, so they had to do what they did. But like, you don't promise that much. It's like when founders did the mint and then they started building because they didn't have funds before. Like they reversed the whole process. Yep. It's pretty much that. So like, it's the wrong way to do it. Like you cannot build all these promises and then not deliver because your community didn't give you enough money. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it destroys the credibility of the project completely.
Yeah. But you mentioned about that you work with a few partners on InfoFi. Which has been, whichever you want to answer, the most fun, the most challenging building thing you built, the most interesting partner, if you want to say names, or if you don't want to, that's all, well, whichever way you want to. Yeah, just in general, like one of the stories that you remember and want to share for the audience for reference.
The most public project that I've had the most fun working with would have been, I would argue, Squishyverse as a project. That the people, the community, everyone that has been involved in the project has been just so sweet. The most fun but private, I would say, is the GameFi project that I work with, which is a little bit of it's a team that has like a strong hate-love relationship, and I tend to find that the best teams are like that, where not everyone always agrees on the same thing. So there's always one person that's going to scream, fuck no to a specific thing. But from my experience, like those teams have just been like amazing to really to
work with, to build with.
To build with,
man.
Simple.
Good memories from Squishyverse for sure. We all wish it could have been different afterwards, but yeah, good memories. And yeah, it's very good to have those type of people in the team that play devil's advocate, or they're not yes men and just follow with whatever one person suggests. You need that controversy, that different takes to actually build something that makes sense and that is different.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
yeah, from I saw your tweet as well that what that let me just show it. I just found it, this one. You pretty much said that you found you hit your number on at least your short-term goal. How are you feeling these days? I saw that, that working brings you happiness, which is incredible. You found what you liked and solving problems for people and building. um, Besides that, are you side questing in general? Just like, what are you most focused on, or what do you suggest for people that maybe have a number, or don't have a number, and like reverse engineering into how to get to that number is your best advice? Like, what do you think will help people the most to reach that level?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, as soon as you hit that number that everyone has in mind, say it's like $1 million, right? Um, I have bad news for the audience. It doesn't stop there. It always grows.
You always need more. Yeah.
It always grows. Like you come to realize you have headwinds like inflation and stuff
Yeah,
like
as
that,
well.
taxes. Then no one thinks about taxes, right? In most countries, you're paying maybe your top line's probably 45%. If you're efficient, have a great advisors, a great team, maybe 20, 25. Or if you live in Dubai or another jurisdiction, maybe zero. But there's always like shit along the way as well when it comes to when you get to that number. Now, achieving that goal, definitely saying no to a lot of things as well. You need to elevate your mindset. That is probably the most important thing. You need to start walking as if you already have earned it, and then naturally it flows to you. If that makes sense. For example, if you pretend like you already have $1 million, you'll behave like you have $1 million. So why would you go and do a project for $500? Why would you go and do a project for 1,000? You are already the guy that has $1 million. So say no to things that don't move the needle. That's exactly what I've done, and I still do it to this day because it continues to do as I thought it would have done. And yeah, that's probably the biggest take mindset out of it all. And I know it's cliche, a lot of people say it, but it really is true. You have to get out of the mindset of thinking that there's little money in the world too. They always print more of the shit every year. There's always new waves in every part of the world. You have stocks, you have real estate, you have Web3, crypto. It's just a matter of, getting a tiny little bucket and sticking it wherever the river is flowing. And it might not be crypto right now, but what you could do right now if you're in crypto is set up all the infrastructure, for example, your website, your contact page, your Twitter account, such that it is ready for when the bull wave does come by or the next wave. And that will help you to meet someone and potentially partner and build a project together that could help you see that kind of money pretty easily, or whatever wave comes through, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, total sense. Completely agree. And also like that manifesting and like you visualizing yourself that you are worth $1 million and that you are the shit comes with a process. Obviously, you cannot just wake up tomorrow and have that. Like, you need to build your skills and build your foundation to then become that. Right? It's not just overnight or just by thinking of it. You need to actually work for it. And it reminded me as well with I can't remember if it was On-Chain Heroes or I forgot the other name of a similar abstract project, that there was a big market dump that day when they were going to mint, like a very big one, and everyone was suggesting not to mint, and they were like, "Fuck you, we know we have a great product and we're going to mint," and it sold out like in a few minutes. That confidence and that like, "Fuck you, everyone, like this is happening. Fuck the market, fuck everyone else, like fuck any doubters, haters." like just believing in yourself and like the product that you built and your skills is massive, right? So
that is exactly how every founder needs to behave. They need to be optimistic, and they need to have the mindset of shooting for the moon, because the worst case is you land in the stars anyway. So that is, I remember On-Chain Heroes as well, and it honestly is no surprise. They just had the mindset, and they had the credentials behind the team as well, and they did well.
They're still doing well, yeah, like they're cooking, and that, yeah, got goosebumps just by saying it. And when I saw it, I saw it live and I minted as well. Respect, man, like that's what we love to see. Just middle finger to everyone that doubted and hated and like faded as well. It's just that confidence. It's incredible, and I wish more people had that. But instead, they have the delusionality of thinking they can just by a miracle. Unfortunately,
I mean, I could even talk about many instances where a founder wouldn't see engagement and would refuse to mint, as an example, especially when they set a particular day. Now, I don't like to use this kind of example quite literally, but there's no better way to. Actually, I'll probably skip it.
I was ready.
Okay. To put it simple, right? Your project is like a boner. You don't want to kill it, right? Straight away. You want to hit it, and that's it. Like, there's nothing more to it. But it's like, why would you not want to go and target a specific date that you set out? And even if you do bad, right, there are ways you can work around it. And for the most part, a lot of NFTs, right, since I remember working on them, was a lot of them didn't mint after when the bear market ensued. In fact, it was a slow mint most of the time. So gradually, as the number of tokens got minted, people would pick up on it. And usually when you hit 80 to 90% minted, a lot of bots follow through and just mint out the whole damn thing anyway. So it's just important to just not give up. Keep on, trying. Even if you don't mint out, don't lose morale. Just give it your best. Keep trying, and reassess from there. Like, try your best. And the worst thing you could do is not do anything, in my opinion. Like, if you lose money doing it, and it's not really a rug at all. Like, you, in fact, rugged yourself trying to get this thing going, if that makes sense. So, and it adds, a bit of story to the thing. But
yeah,
I could talk about this all day, right? Like a project unknown didn't sell out their NFTs, but as soon as the meme coin wave came, which was right after Pepe, they raised about $300,000 overnight. That's money they'd never seen, even if they minted the NFT fully, right? Yeah. And so what they did is they airdropped everyone from the first NFT. So everyone in the NFT that minted made their money 5x times, and the team walked out with a win. Like, so there's as long as you're in the game, right, you don't lose. To be honest.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I mean, if they doubted because of external conditions, like they didn't really believe in it at the beginning, and if they did, like that will be like the case of On-Chain Heroes. Like, this is happening regardless of anything else. Like, we're passionate about it, and we're sure we have the conviction. So yeah, just before you start something, be sure that you actually, like, there's a lot of ups and downs. It's not just uphill from when you start. But yeah. Damn it, I have so many questions still. Like, I want to get into all things Web3. I just realized we missed, like, we were going through all of the other topics, but yeah, man, like, so much that I want to know about. Like, we worked together multiple times in a lot of projects, but what do most people come to you for of the services that you offer in all things Web3? Lately, I know, like, back in the years in NFTs, but.
Lately, a lot of devs just give up. They just don't care. right, then I'm speaking with the founder, giving them a lot of the insight, and sometimes a slap on the face, like, look, I mean, the guy doesn't care because he just doesn't have, interest in the damn thing after you pay him once, as an example. It's usually picking up old projects as well sometimes, or building on top of old but forgotten projects. That's what I've noticed. A bit of maintenance here and there, but largely it has been partnering up with newer projects that are trying to adapt to new waves in the market.
Nice. Yeah. Back in the day, I've never seen the Better Call Saul, but once shit broke, it was Better Call Lost, and you had to fix a lot of the issues and problems after lunch, right? Like, and you were already ready for it. Like, was it a lot of the similar, like most of the same issues, problems, or were all different back in the day for NFTs when the launch didn't happen as?
There would be issues with liquidity pools, really simple stuff to me, but to non-technical people, it would be complicated. And they still come to this day. So, yeah, like the Better Call Saul, what people used to say was Web3 ambulance. Like, people would come, because I would literally CPR the fucking project.
That's so good. So, I was thinking of you like more of a firefighter, but both work.
Web3 paramedic, now that I remember.
Yeah, wait, did you have that on your handle?
That's right. Yes, I had it on my Discord handle for a long time.
Yeah, so good. Yeah, from the growth and vision perspective, from when you started All Things Web3 to now and to in a year or 5 years, like where do you see it going? Are you expanding your team? Are you can scale and do a lot of the automation and workflow with AI now? Like how are things lately?
The working with people definitely is a thing that I won't be deviating away from. So if I can bring on people for big projects, I will. But lately, as of now, because it is a bear market, and fortunately, I'm not in circumstances where I need to, take on every job that comes by. It's just not the reality. Some things just don't move the needle, and some things are better off for the new person starting in the industry. But as of right now, it's just building out small tools and preparing essentially for the next bull market is what's on my mind right now. So getting, a lot of the content up to date on the website, the tools, as I just said, and hopefully at some point, probably looking into the AI kind of search, because I do think that is going to be pretty big in the future. A lot of people don't even use, Google for Google. They just rely on the first Gemini result that comes out. I don't know if you do that, but I certainly look at what Gemini tells me first before I scroll down the list.
Yeah, well, I'm not using Google that much anymore. I'm using ChatGPT more as Google and Claude for building more the structure stuff. So yeah, and when I do Google, it's mainly the top Gemini. And if I don't find the answer there, I just close it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, exactly.
but yeah, I've noticed that you've been more as well focused on saving people's funds. I don't think anyone does this in Web3, or I cannot think of anyone else besides like StackXBT pointing it out. But like those are like the biggest exploits, like millions of funds lost. You're not promoting this at all. Like, how are people coming to you, or is it again like word of mouth and friends? Like
a lot of it is SEO at the moment. So for context, for the audience, essentially, I had a lot of people reach out to me to help recover assets that were trapped on a wallet that was being pretty much targeted by a sweeper bot. So what the sweeper bot does is whatever ETH you put into it, it'll drain it almost instantaneously. So basically, a lot of people would come by and saying that their NFTs are stuck on their wallet. They can't fund it with gas because it gets swept. And I would help them recover it manually using Flashbots or now EIP7702. which is a new development in the Ethereum ecosystem. So right now, I've pretty much, I guess you could say, made a disservice for myself, because a lot of people do charge service fees, usually a percentage of the recoverable value. But I've now made a tool online on the website, which is the wallet migrator. So essentially, you just put a private key for a delegation wallet. It will pay the gas to transfer the assets to a target wallet that you specify. And pretty much you can recover assets on your own now without having to really rely on anyone. And it's all done on the client. So any private keys generated or used, they do not get passed on to the website. I don't see any of it. I'm not even interested in any of it either. So these are just one of the many ways. And the hope is, out of making these tools, for if it isn't obvious already, is to, bring more people to the site in case they're interested in other technical features or work or potential projects, obviously, that we can eventually partner up on, or if they know a friend of a friend or some.
Yeah.
So,
man, that's incredible. And apart from good karma and just helping people recover funds is huge. Again, I don't think anyone else is doing it in the space. So that's a.
Did you just do it live? I just saw that.
No, it's there. Yeah. Oh, what do you mean?
Yeah.
The video?
Oh, you're doing the recovery on the website.
I'm not doing. It's the video. It's like the tweet.
The video. Oh, right.
I'm not doing it live. No.
I was so confused.
Like what?
I was so confused for a second.
No.
Yeah, so
I'm not that good at multitasking. I'm just showing your video, and that was super fast as well. Never mind.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. That's essentially how simple it is, though, to recover the assets now. You just put a wallet that pays the gas to transfer all the NFTs or ERC20 tokens, and that's it.
That's
so
awesome.
No more trusting another, random shady dev off whatever. And I know how it's like, because I've recovered NFTs in excess of like 10 grand, a few sappy seals, a few frogs, the plague frogs, etc. And those were quite valuable at the time. It's all multi-chain as well. So
nice. Yeah, and it helps build that trust that we mentioned a couple of times, and it's so important in Web3 and in every industry that you put that out there for people to use. And if they have questions, they can reach out, or you have this form that they can fill in 2 minutes on your website, and it's more traffic, all of that. So very, very aligned with everything you guys are doing. Last 2 questions, and then we can start closing if you're okay with that.
Yeah, all good.
Awesome. I noticed that, well, in general, like, what do you think VCs are becoming inventor studios, or like dev shops become inventor studios? I saw that you guys are investing into the projects that you help partner with and build with, more than just the skin in the game and both winning when it does well. Is there any other reason why VCs and you in general with this venture studio like getting more involved than in a way you should?
Well, VCs, as we know it, right, are just people that at the time you have a project, you need funding, you go to a VC, you give up a large control of your project to the VC. That's how it was.
Yep.
Now, having a venture studio is pretty much, it allows the project founders to have more control of the project by having in-house talent filling as much of the gaps, which can end up being much cheaper, much equitable, much quicker for the project too. So typical VC doesn't have maybe an in-house dev team, but they do have money. And someone like us, all things Web3 that is, has all the technical talent, has the connections to great marketing, especially from ITK, has the funding, stuff like that. So it eliminates all these little frictions as well when it comes to starting your own project.
Yeah, no, and the distribution, the networking as well. Like if it's a Web2 company or a Web2 team that want to enter the Web3 industry, like that bridge is very important as well at the start, and then moving along. And I was just going to ask about the recovering the funds that we just showed a minute ago. And I forgot it for a second. Where do you learn this stuff? Like, where do you normally research, or like, how do you think of building that model? Or like, I mean, you've been into coding for many years now. Like, how do you think outside of the box in that way of like, I can create this, or like bits and pieces from different areas? Like, how does it work? Your brain.
When you, it's mostly staying up to date with like Ethereum developer news and stuff like that.
Nice.
When new EIPs come out, stuff like that, it enables new train of thought and stuff. In particular, when EIP 7702, pretty much having a delegated wallet pay gas for your transactions, that enables you to get a bit creative with ideas you had in mind in the past that once weren't possible but now are possible. So, for instance, automating all of the recovery into one tool, that suddenly became possible because of this. And it still was possible using flashbots and having maybe the private key hover around, or maybe let's just say it makes it more simple. But to answer your question simply, just following developer news on particular protocols and ecosystems gives you insight into new things that you can do as a developer.
Nice. Yeah, staying up to date then. Is it more newsfeed or more X accounts? Do you have an X list that it's only developers, or I mean, if you can share it, if not, good. But just curious.
I don't use lists as much as I should, but what I do is literally just I follow like, for example, I would go into packages on the Ethereum smart contracts, right? Usually have authors, and they usually leave their Twitter accounts.
Right.
And once you follow one of them, Twitter might suggest other recommendations to follow. So you would also follow those people, security researchers at Ethereum, stuff like that. Like, they help curate your feed, or help me curate my feed to get that kind of information on my timeline.
Nice. Yeah, that makes sense. That's good. Last question for anyone, and you're a great example for well, like one of the most inspiring journeys, and a lot of people can learn from you. Would your best advice for builders with big ideas and ambitious goals? What would you think could work best for anyone starting today? Very different, obviously, for a few years ago with NFTs, but obviously today and tomorrow, maybe some people might feel a bit lost into what to do or how to do it, or they have a big plan but they don't know how to start. What do you think is your best advice?
Yeah, so if you are thinking about doing something alone in Web3, forget about it. You need a team, full stop. If you are bad at marketing, you need a great marketing partner. So you would need to touch base with the team at ITK, as an example, or have a friend that is exceptional. If you're bad at technology, coding, you need a great technical partner. And that's where I could step in. And that's pretty much the crux of it. Having a great team to work together and fill in all the gaps so there's no friction when it comes to starting it, marketing it, distributing it, building it. That's probably the most important thing. You cannot do everything yourself. And you probably can, but it won't go as far as having a team long term.
Yeah, that's one of the main, not the exact words obviously, but like similar advice of a lot of the guests and the founders and people. One of the most inspiring people that I know in CT that have been on the show is you need a team. Like, you need the right people to push the vision forward and to go in the journey with you. In terms, like, if imagine if someone doesn't have funds today or tomorrow to hire a team, how do you convince the right crazy enough delusional people to go in with you. Obviously, it's going to take time and resources. What do you think you could be a good advice for? If I mean, it's a very challenging thing not to have funds, and everyone has ideas, right? But they don't have the funds.
The
So
funds, okay.
yeah,
Wait, so the question is how would a person or a team without funds go
yeah,
about with? Okay,
it's way more
well,
challenging. But yeah, I just thought about it like I think a lot of people, everyone has ideas, but they don't have the funds to build the team, and that's the word that another challenge shows up.
oh, I mean, a lot of a lot of things just need funding. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably wouldn't want to start a business in general unless you can get money in the door pretty easily. Otherwise, it's not really a viable business. Get a credit card.
Yeah,
That's probably the simplest solution.
rob a bank,
Rob a bank.
reverse engineer the model of recovering funds that you did.
But realistically speaking, I mean, it's again, I mean, if you don't have the money for the project, then you need to probably look into finding a person that can put up the funds and
Yeah,
has the same belief
like
as the
Facebook,
team.
Mark
And
Zuckerberg in the
they
beginning.
exactly, and those people, they do exist.
Yeah,
And if it's just to bootstrap a little idea, you don't need millions of dollars. You probably could get away with under 10 grand with a great team, or
yeah,
even $1,000 just to validate an idea, right? I've seen projects and I've partnered with projects that have raised hundreds of thousands or made hundreds of thousands of dollars for themselves and their community members from as little as $1,000, just because they were exceptional at what they do. That is marketing, team, not team, but tech, stuff like that. So just there, those types of people, to be specific, they're called rainmakers. So
yep.
you would have to find the rainmaker if you don't have one, or to fill the gap, essentially. But it's like otherwise, literally just take a risk. I mean, $1,000 to validate it, getting it out there. Like more often than not, the projects that do well, you kind of know are going to do well. That's from my experience.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I was not trying to put you in the spot for reference. Like, I've never asked this follow-up question, but I just thought about it. Like, man, there's a lot of people out there. I don't know if in the audience, but in general, that don't have the funds and they cannot hire a team. And obviously, the team is the one of the most important factors of success. But I was just thinking about it as well, and I think as well, just to add up to what you just said, because I agree, obviously, is building your network. Like showing up every day. Like if you have that idea, like start building. I don't know if
100%.
if you want to talk about sport, if I don't know if your ideas about sports in Web3, you talk about sports, show up on spaces, build a podcast, talk on like show your face, build network, knock on doors, all these, and keep learning as you said as well earlier, like keep sharpen up your skills, keep experimenting. All of these compounds in, and then someone with money that wants to invest might find you, or you might find them. So it all adds up at the end.
Exactly. But to touch on, like, I have to emphasize it again that a lot of great projects start with little to no money.
Yep.
And the way they usually start is, for example, the founder, they're becoming influential. They're getting a lot of, traction on the feed. They have a lot of visibility, or eyeballs on whatever they say. Then all of a sudden they suddenly tweet, "Hey, look, I'm going to make an NFT. Like it if you're interested." What do you do next? You call up Loz, your dev or your tech partner. Let's go build it. I'm going to charge $0 because I'm your partner. And then we build it out. And if people see potential, they will fund it for you. So you might have the grand vision of, building a game, building an exchange or something like that. But you could start off, by having, a private group that's sold as like an NFT or a private product that's purchased using crypto, something like that. And that all of a sudden brings cash into the project store. And from there, you can then reassess, okay, we've got now money in the door. We've got a few grand here. What can we do now to try and not only satisfy our customers that have bought, but also head toward that grand vision of ours of making the exchange. So it could be, paying another guy for a pitch deck. Hey, we've got all these people that are invested in our idea here. We just need X amount of dollars. And who knows, maybe even the customers that buy into your crypto project might know people that they can recommend to you. And that's happened many times in many circumstances across various projects that I've partnered with. So definitely don't lose hope if you don't have money. It is still possible to make it, but you just have to be a little bit creative.
Yeah. And very relentless as well. And like you could buy an NFT and get into that group, and then they added you to
100%.
another group, and it just rippled effect right after that into opening new doors. So there's many ways. I think a lot of people have the limitation of I don't have money and they stop there. But the ones that really want to create something meaningful find many ways to get there, right? So
definitely like to keep it nice and short, that's another level as well. And I could talk about it forever, but just to keep it short, private groups and buying NFTs is a great way to access many people that you otherwise would never access. For example, CEOs, stuff like that. If you own the base C, you would have access to a lot of affluent people as opposed to owning some, dog NFT that's worth not even $1.
yeah.
So definitely spot on with what you just said.
Yeah, man. Fuck, we could continue talking forever, but I know it's late for you, Los. Anything else that you want to add that you think that we missed, or any closing thoughts, comments that you have before we wrap this incredible episode up?
No comments in general. I mean, everyone is welcome to reach out if they have a beautiful idea in mind, and I'm great at connecting people together and getting things off the ground. The marketing side, obviously, we've got ITK as well, very close next to our shoulders. So we can also, work together to build great things in the space. So yeah, I've been talking for forever now. But,
no, you nailed it. Yeah, man. So happy that we got to do this episode. It was incredible. Thank you again for being here. Honored. Long overdue. I mean, we've talked many times, but in this environment is a little bit different and very insightful as well. And to have the audience and obviously clips afterwards is it's different and more valuable in a way. Shout out to everyone that was here. Spotter, just a legend. Lost. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Spotter, Scorpion, Sniper, Lily, everyone that was in the comments here and or Twitter or Kick, YouTube, Twitch, or Abstract. Thank you. We hope to see you on the next one. And yeah, thank you again, Los. It's been a pleasure.
Shout out to Spotter, and thank you, Tiger, for having me on.
Thank you, man. Have a good one, and everyone have a great weekend. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
See ya.